Hey everyone. Um, so a few people have asked me lately how what I do when I'm outside and I want to paint, but I don't have all my gear with me, or when I'm traveling. You know, so I wanted to share with you the things I bring with me when I'm outside and I'm painting, um, like at a coffee shop or cafe, restaurant, just on a park bench somewhere. So I have here my bag that I carry it with me. Of course, this is your first step in any. I've had several of these bags throughout my life, um, but this is my latest one. This is just a cheap bag that held a pair of binoculars, but um, which were garbage, by the way. But the bag itself is pretty good, and it actually works for this size. So this is what I have. First off, you can have some water with you. Most places are going to have water, or you're going to have some with you. I like to bring a little with me just in case, because when you don't have it, you really need it. So this is a small bottle. It's easy to carry with me. Um, I have two a paper towel, but I have two kinds of palettes that I carry with me. And this might not be necessary, but I have this first one here that uh, has magnets to hold it together. It has magnets that keep it relatively, together. And it has I can put all 12 of my QOR paints. You can buy a set of QOR that come in tubes, and you can just squeeze a little bit in each one. And so that way I have all the colors if I ever need it for whatever reason. And it has a few little mixing discs. So that's nice. I also have an Altoid tin that I used, Fimo clay, which, if you don't know what it is, it's regular clay that you fold and mold into your form, and then you bake it in the oven, and then it becomes nice and hard. Um, Not quite. I mean, I can stick my fingernail in it and make a dent, but it's relatively it'll work. So these are the three colors that I generally use in all my paintings, and most of my paintings are made just from these three: ultramarine blue, quinacridone magenta. You can also use permanent alizarin crimson, quinacridone rose. Those are good. You can get some really great colors. And then also I have, yeah, I'm drawing a blank here. Can't remember what yellow. I think it's nickel azo yellow. You can use azo yellow. You can use quinacridone gold is a nice yellow. You're not going to get really vibrant greens with it, but most of the things out in nature are going to be sort of a slightly dulled green. They're not going to be that fluorescent green that you can get with some paints. Then I have a little bin for water, little mixing tray here. Um, that works pretty well. I also have this little paper towel that I folded up, and when I'm done, sometimes I put it in here. I wouldn't put it in here like this if the paper towel is really wet, because it can like, I opened it up like a few weeks later and all the paint was really wet, and you can start to mildew, mold, that kind of thing. But if it's pretty dry, you can stick it in here and it will absorb some of the moisture of all your paints. A pencil is really good to have. This is just a 2B pencil, and these eraser tips are from the dollar store. They have a whole set of them. Uh, and they're good erasers. Like this, I think they're Crayola brand, but you get, I don't know, 25 for $1.25, and these are good. The old ones where you'd erase and they had like black marks, and these are good. Like, I really recommend these. Good pencils. Good erasers too. I do carry with me a pen. Not necessary. I don't use it really, but it's good to have. My brushes. I used to use these ones here. They have water inside of them. And then the cap goes on, and it does control. Doesn't control it. It stays wet, but you can't control how much water's on the brush, which for me is pretty important. So I've kind of moved away from these. And now I use these little ones. Actually, this is kind of a large brush. There's 3 of them in here, but this is the largest one, and they just unscrew, and you can make your own little. It's actually kind of a large brush. Most watercolor brushes aren't as big as this, but they're nice. And they're good brushes. They do have little holes in the excuse me, to let so when you put them back in there, they do stay they dry out because you don't want them sitting in there getting wet. One thing I found with these brushes is it's really easy to, when you put the cap back on, to accidentally grab a stray hair or two. So after a while, you have all these splayed out hairs. So one thing I like to do is take water when you're done, get it wet, maybe pull out some of that water with your hands, and just get it to a real fine point. And then you can much easier, put it all back in there. And there you go. So yeah, I like these quite a lot. These are a good little set. What else do I have in here? I do have a spare little golf brush or golf pencil. Also, these are nice. These little pencil sharpeners. You can, you're not going to be making a mess wherever you're at. If you need to sharpen your pencil. They also make these ones that are self-contained. They have a little cap, little eraser. So those are, I really recommend those. I used to use just like a block pencil sharpener, and I would have to origami fold a little box to put all my pencil shavings in, and and that worked. Nothing wrong with it. But that's an easier way to go. Important thing to have is our paper towels. Um, I like these ones here. I get them from if you go to a semi decent restaurant, sometimes they have these really nice paper towels, um, and so I'll just eat very carefully and take mine with me. Sometimes the waiter brings more, so I'll just take those. Um, you can use Viva paper towels; those are good. Um, there's some paper towels that aren't good. Like the ones you go to the restroom and you have to push on the thing and it comes out and it's thin and brown. Those ones are absolutely terrible for watercolors. They just don't soak up the paint. So I don't recommend those. These ones are nice and absorbent. They last for a while. Um, like I said, Viva. There's a certain brand that are pretty good. Um, and paper. You need something to paint on. This this cool book is my wife made this for me. I gave her a giant piece of 30-inch by 22-inch watercolor paper, Arches, cold press, and she made this little book with it, and it's perfect. And you can't have it. I don't even know if she would make more. She might actually, but it's hard. Like you can't find books with Arches paper in it. So it was really nice that she's able to make books, and you know, it lays flat. Like a good watercolor book will lay flat while you're painting, so it doesn't, you know, it doesn't like the water doesn't move around. You don't want to do too much wet on wet, but a little bit, around the areas, or it's gonna be okay. Um, so they these are good to have. Uh, Stillman and Burns makes a series of books, so they're good. Um, if you're new to watercolor, you're gonna get the stuff from Michaels, which is kind of garbage. Um, because you feel like you don't want to spend a lot of money on good paper if you're just starting out, which that makes some sense. But also, I always recommend my students to buy good paper. You can buy a big sheet of Arches paper for about $7, and then you can fold it and tear it down to where you can get like 11 by 7 sheets. Um, which is about half of one of these. And then you can, you could use tape, take a little board with you, tape it down, and you get like 8 sheets, 11 by 7 sheets out of $7. Again, it's a little pricey, but the cheap paper, you're going to be fighting it. Believe me, I know. I've watched students and their stuff is just like, it looks terrible. And they're like, why does my painting look terrible? Is it me? Is it the brushes? Is it the paint? It's the paper. And it might be a little bit you too. But, the paper makes a big difference. It really does. Um, so I really recommend people get good paper. Because it's going to do what you want. So anyway, this is everything I carry with me when I go out. Um, Ask my wife. I carry it anytime we leave the house. I'm like, all right, I'm grabbing it. Sometimes I use it, sometimes I don't, but I really like having it because I can, if I want, I can do things with it. Anyway, I hope this was helpful, and good luck. If you have any questions, let me know. I'm happy to answer. But yeah, happy painting. Take care.